Is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's Friday, July 31st, right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Our kids get to experience in the fall will be much more robust than what they experience in the spring.
A major announcement from one of the state's largest school districts. Working for you, we break down Indianapolis Public Schools' plan to start the year with remote learning.
I think it's still an open question of do children under 6 carry virus in the same way and spread virus in the same way as a child over 10.
Only on RTV6, Dr. Deborah Burks talks about what we can learn from summer camps as we monitor the spread of COVID-19 among young people. A new initiative is helping those who lost their licenses for failing to pay child support get back behind the wheel. This morning, we are hearing from Marion County prosecutor about the impact of the program. And good morning to you. It is 6:01 on this Friday morning. I'm Amanda Starrentino filling in for Lauren Casey. Good morning, Raphael.
Good morning, Amanda. It is great to have you with us this morning. Welcome back to your old home here on Good Morning Indiana. And Todd Clausen, of course, because this is Indiana, we've gone from summer-like temperatures to spring-like temperatures. And of course, as you know, Todd, today's the big Strawberry Festival drive-thru in Franklin, so we need some dry weather.
Yeah, and I think you'll have that dry weather here throughout the day today, Raphael. And for that drive-thru, you can roll the windows down. You don't have to worry about the AC sneaking out because temperatures will be running a little bit below normal, but very, very comfortable throughout the afternoon hours with highs in the 70s as the sky starts to brighten as we wrap up not only this work week, but the end of the month. Hard to believe that today's the last day of July. You're looking at skies that are going to be partly to mostly cloudy. So we're definitely not going to get rid of all the clouds today and into that bright sunshine. But I do think skies will be bright at times with the sunshine mixed in with these clouds. It's pretty dry this morning. You notice a few specks of green here and there on radar. Can't rule out the chance of an isolated shower, but the better, more substantial shower activity is here across southern Indiana. And then back off to our west, you notice this spin here. That is an area of low pressure. That's more of a player in our forecast for the day tomorrow. Everybody's in the 60s here this morning, 69 in Indy as well as Bloomington, 66 in Greenfield, Tipton at 64 degrees. Going forward in this forecast, highs again will be topping off in the mid to upper 70s. That's a little bit below normal. We toggle back and forth between those partly to mostly cloudy skies, but most of the day today should be dry. Just a few spotty showers, I think, this afternoon and this evening, sneaking, Amanda, mainly into some southern locations.
Thanks, Todd. We're taking a live look outside at your commute this early morning. We are looking at I-465 at Man Road on the southwest side of the city. You can see traffic is moving pretty well over there, so no issues to report at this time. We will keep you posted throughout Good Morning Indiana. And a new school year for IPS is beginning with a big change.
So, Amanda, classes for IPS students will begin virtually. This time, for the first time, all IPS students will have an iPad or a Chromebook to learn in this age of COVID-19 from home. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with all the details. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So this is a major decision for IPS, and leaders say the decision was made solely with the health of everyone in mind. IPS Superintendent Alicia Johnson says the plan the district has come up with for students to learn virtually will be fluid and can change when necessary to help out families. Talks are ongoing about how to make sure students who really need to learn in person can do that. IPS is now in the process of developing programs to fill that need. They're also going.
I think it's going to be imperative for our community to say this is important for us. We all need to do our part so our kids can get back to school as quickly as possible.
They're also going to make sure that all students have access to virtual learning by providing them with the necessary technology. IPS plans to continue serving meals to students. Those plans will be released to parents soon. Now, IPS is aiming to get back into the classroom in October, but of course that just depends on how Marion County is handling COVID-19. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. And schools in Marion County have new guidance when classes resume in a few weeks. Marion County Health Department Director Dr. Virginia Kane and Mayor Hogsett announced this plan on Thursday. First, all students who attend class in person and who are over the age of 8 will be required to wear a mask. A dedicated Marion County Public Health Department team will be available to all schools for emergency testing, which will have a 24 to 48-hour results turnaround time. A Marion County Public Health Department team will review safety plans continuously with school leaders, and high-risk teachers and students will be allowed to opt out of in-person learning in compliance with federal requirements. And as the new school year approaches, you can find the latest information from local school districts and tips to navigate this unprecedented year at the IndyChannel.com/safely back to school.
Amanda, schools are concerned because of these numbers. The numbers continue to climb to nearly 1,000 new cases of COVID-19 in our state. The State Department of Health reporting now confirming that 970 new cases in their latest report, bringing the state's total number of cases to more than 65,000. 13 new deaths were also confirmed. 2,746 Hoosiers have died from the virus. More than 735,000 Hoosiers have been tested so far. And you this morning, reopening schools is not risk-free. That's the message from one of the country's top doctors. Only on RTV6, Dr. Deborah Birx agreed to talk to RTV6 about the issues that Hoosier families are facing during this pandemic. As you know, she's a leader on the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Dr. Birx says the government will study and learn how kids did at summer camps, and that will help how we continue to reopen the economy and reopen schools across the country.
Well, there's some early studies that suggest, what I can tell you in that study is children over 10 spread virus in the same way as adults. I think it's still an open question of, do children under 6 carry virus in the same way and spread virus in the same way as a child over 10? There is suggestions from the South Korean study that they don't. But I think South Korea, I've learned not to compare ourselves to other countries. We are just different people, and we have different cultures. And we have different ways of dealing with each other. And so really will be the question when we start to study. There's camps that went back this summer, and we'll be able to learn from those camps. What happened in those camps? Did any children get infected? And were there younger age groups that got infected, and evidence of spread between that younger age groups? Because camps often keep younger age groups together in separate cabins with their own resident directors. And so we'll be able to learn more from the United States experience to really figure this out.
So new at 6:30 here at RTV6, Dr. Birx, she talks about what keeps her up at night and her fear of who's missing this critical message. That's coming up on Good Morning Indiana at 6:30. Amanda?
And the city of Indianapolis and local organizations are increasing efforts to help those experiencing homelessness during this pandemic. For the group Alliance for Homeless Transformation, they are making sure those in need are fed. Lines could be seen outside of the city-county building where they distribute meals. Yesterday, 126 people were given fried chicken, potato salad, and more. But the group offers more than just a meal.
Some of our friends have housing, but some of them can't afford a meal. Some of them don't get the assistance they need at the times they need. So they come down here and we try to partner with them and tell them how to get resources, how to get food, pantries we know of, and people in the churches that will help out.
The organization says they have seen longer lines because other shelters are full or working limited hours due to the pandemic. That's also why the city announced a plan this week to use hotel rooms to give those facing homelessness a place to stay.
So pay up and get your driver's license back. This morning, a plan is on the table to get that done. Currently, there are about 2,500 suspensions in Marion County of driver's licenses for failure to pay child support. Now, the goal is to cut down that number. The Good Faith Initiative will encourage people to make payments in exchange to get their driver's license back. The BMV does allow for the automatic suspension of a license when someone falls behind on child support for 3 months or by $2,000.
So why do you see this program as being critical in making sure that kids, families get the dollars that they need?
we'll make an arrangement with them. And if they say, hey, we're able to pay this month, as long as they continue to pay whatever agreement we make, they get to keep their driver's license. If they quit paying that after 1 month and they say, actually, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, then their license will be suspended again. So it's an ongoing issue. I think it's also important to recognize we're not touching the balance. We're not touching whatever the court ordered as the monthly obligation. This is literally just to help people get their driver's license back and hopefully get them on track so they can contribute to their kids' well-being.
To connect to this program, which begins again on Monday, you can call the Good Faith Initiative hotline, the number there on your screen, 317-327-2700.
Thousands of Indiana students don't have reliable access to the internet. And this could be a setback to their education. After the break, the big change one expert is proposing to combat this problem. Todd.
And Amanda, a few spotty showers sneaking through southern portions of central Indiana here this morning. It's a wet start to the day down in Seymour, but the rest of central Indiana is pretty dry, but the overall weather pattern remains pretty unsettled, not only across central Indiana, but much of the Midwest. We'll let you know how that's going to impact your weekend forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:11. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Good morning to you and welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:14 on this Friday morning. We're getting your weekend started on this beautiful morning. Take a live look outside. We're looking across the Circle City here. The sunrise is certainly worth seeing this morning. Todd will be back to let us know if the rest of your Friday will be just as nice.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty, Raphael?
Is that Indianapolis?
That's beautiful. It's gorgeous, right?
I mean, I know we have a beautiful city. We live in a beautiful city, but that is simply gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah, it's nice to see those shots every once in a while. Well, a new Ball State study shows that up to 85,000 students in Indiana do not have internet access at home. The Rebound Indiana takes a look at the barriers that could keep people from success beyond the pandemic.
And Amanda, this morning, our Stephanie Wade has more on the changes being proposed to help those kids that will soon be learning from home.
We're 6 months into this and we haven't thought through how some of this is going to work. And I think that we're at risk of leaving a substantial share of Hoosier children behind.
Michael Hicks, the director for the Center of Business and Economic Research for Ball State, calls internet and Wi-Fi disparities among students one of the most compelling public policy problems of 2020.
We're talking here, 6.5%, 1 out of every 15, 16 kids who have nothing. They just don't have any broadband, any internet access, nothing.
As students are already returning to school this week, IPS, the largest district in the state, voting just last night to begin the school year entirely virtual, says they're deploying devices to their students over the next 2 weeks to ensure everyone has what they need to access learning.
We are a one-to-one district now, so every student, K2, will be supplied with an iPad. 3 through 12 will be supplied with a Chromebook. We've ordered MiFis for families who have that need.
The Ball State study found the up to 85,000 students with no internet access live in rural places where broadband is less available and urban areas like Indianapolis. The solution?
I do think it's going to require the state General Assembly relooking at how we deploy broadband, how we allow communities to help subsidize that. And at the same time, and this is a much more urgent problem, is to find alternative locations for kids to go to school. We have empty big box stores that could be converted to learning centers where Wi-Fi could be provided.
Knowing losing every 1 in 15 kids to online access means they might not be able to catch up.
And that's really, I think, the worry that we have. This is a problem then that will be still plaguing our economy decades from now if we don't find a solution to that educational problem right now, this fall, during this time.
Stephanie Wade, RTV 6.
Several internet providers offer programs eligible for low-income households. You can find more info and links to other resources right now at theindychannel.com/safely back to school. Todd, another gorgeous shot looking outside.
Yeah, giving you all the views here this morning of the sunrise taking place. And this one's from downtown looking to the north. And you obviously see where the skies are clear and it's a little brighter. You also have a little bit of cloud cover around. And this is kind of the way it's going to be throughout the entire day today. We'll toggle back and forth between some sunshine at times, and then there'll be times where it's a little more overcast than sunny. But for the most part, we are going to be dry across the area for much of the morning and into the afternoons. A couple exceptions. I'll show you those in just a second. Temperatures in the 60s this morning, 66 in Martinsville, 69 in Bloomington, 64 is the current temperature from Tipton up into the Peru area. So there's some humidity around for the day today. It's probably in that slightly humid category, and it's a little different humidity than what we usually talk about in the sense when you walk outside and you're like, oh, it's so humid. Today's kind of more of a damp feel just because we had so much in the way of rainfall yesterday where some areas picked up over an inch. So there's just a lot of moisture that is in the ground, and we haven't had a whole lot of sunshine to dry the ground up. And so that's why it's going to feel more damp than probably humid is going to better, calling it damp rather than humid is probably a better way of putting it for you. So here's the clouds that have kind of built in across the metro area. It's clearer to the north and to the east, but I do think the clouds will continue to fill in across the area here this morning as the sun starts to come up and warms the temperatures a little bit. The one exception I mentioned for some rain this morning is, as you see here from Seymour down south as you work your way towards New Albany, a few spotty showers near Bedford as well this morning. And as we expand out, you notice quite a bit of rainfall near Kansas City. This spin or this area of low pressure, that's a player in our forecast as we get into the day tomorrow. So today, most of the day is going to be dry with the exception of those showers this morning down in the Seymour area. We should be dry throughout the morning hours, and then as we work our way into the evening hours, better chances of rain showers return to the forecast. So let me show you TrueCast as we work our way throughout the day. By 11, 12 o'clock, your lunch hour, partly to mostly cloudy skies. As we get into Friday afternoon, some spotty showers starting to work their way into the forecast across parts of the area. And then this evening, a hit or miss shower. The best potential today, at least, for some spotty showers going to be across southern locations. So if you do have evening plans, maybe down Bloomington, Bedford, Seymour, there will be the chance of some spotty showers kind of building their way in, and temperatures a little on the cool side today. We will be in the 70s. Fast forward to tomorrow for your Saturday. Saturday features a little better chance of rain across the area, and some showers get in here before daybreak on Saturday, and then they're just pinwheeling through here at times throughout the day tomorrow, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. If you have outdoor plans on Saturday, just know that these showers and storms will be around, and you're probably going to have to alter those plans just a little bit as these showers will make their way through the area. It's a little bit cooler for your weekend forecast as well. Only 75 on Saturday, up to 77 on Sunday. Your weather remains pretty unsettled at least through Monday. A few spotty storms could linger into Tuesday. Then the middle of next week looks great with sunshine. Highs in the upper 70s, Amanda, with low temperatures in the mid-50s.
Looks good. Thanks, Todd. Here's a live look at I-465 and Harding Street on the city's south side. We do have a traffic alert for drivers just north of this location here. A semi-fire has the northbound lanes of Harding Street closed near Raymond Street. If you take northbound Harding Street in this area, you will want to leave a few minutes early and find a different route if you can. Elsewhere around the metro, everything is moving up to speed. Raphael.
Amanda, Coca-Cola is trying its hand at the adult beverage market. The soda company plans to launch a new hard seltzer. This will be a first for Coke. The drink will be under the cult favorite brand Topo Chico. Coke's hard seltzer will be introduced in select cities in Latin America later this year. The company has not said if it will eventually bring the product to the United States.
Move over Friends. Several classic sitcoms from the 90s are making a comeback courtesy of Netflix. We'll have all the details in today's Trending 6.
Attention Beyonce fans, overnight her new film Black is King just dropped on Disney+. Coming up on Good Morning America, we'll have much more on the movie and the massive social reaction breaking the internet this morning. And as we head outside, check out this sunrise over the Speedway. It is simply gorgeous. A great day to stare just at the sunrise. And a big good morning to Greenwood, Greencastle, and Greenfield. The letter is G today for gorgeous. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on on RTV6. Wow.
Good morning to you. It is time for the Trending 6 on this Friday morning.
So Amanda, here is your chance to enjoy some of the goodies, the oldies and goodies from yesteryear, because Netflix subscribers will soon have more throwback sitcoms to binge watch and to make you laugh. Several classics from the 90s are making a comeback. Netflix announced it's adding 7 classic African-American shows from the 90s and the early 2000s, including those hit shows like Sister Sister, Moesha, and The Game. The sitcoms will all start streaming on Netflix in the weeks
I'm looking forward to Sister Sister. Well, the Indianapolis Zoo is welcoming its newest addition, a baby greater kudu. Mom, JoJo, gave birth to an adorable female calf last Monday. Just look at that little one. The calf, who has yet to be named, is her 6th baby. Zoo officials say the mother-daughter duo has recently started venturing outside together. Greater kudus are among the largest antelope species.
And a big good morning to Nathan Louder. Nathan is our hometown hero on this Friday. He's a Morgan County Reserve Deputy and is also a nursing manager at Franciscan Health in Mooresville. So we want to thank him for his service, and please let us know about the hometown heroes in your neighborhood. Now, time to check the forecast in your neighborhood. Our Todd Clausen is standing by. Good morning, TK.
Hey, Raphael, good morning to you. Beautiful sunrise taking place. A little more in the way of clouds than clearer skies, but nonetheless, as the skies start to brighten here, we are dry in most areas. There's a few spotty showers down towards the Seymour and Bedford area, but that's it here across central Indiana. Throughout the next couple hours, temperatures hold fairly steady. We'll go up a couple degrees as we push into the 10 o'clock hour with partly to mostly cloudy skies, but again, most of the morning hours should be dry. This afternoon should mainly be dry as well until we get to late afternoon, early evening. That's when a few more spotty showers will start to build into the forecast. Temperatures today running a little bit below normal. We should be getting up to 84 now this time of year. As you can see, highs will be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Amanda?
Thanks, Todd. More and more people are using money transfer apps on their phones, especially during this pandemic. But as one man discovered, they don't have the same protection as bank accounts. Consumer reporter John Matarese shows how he lost thousands of dollars, so you don't waste your money.
Don't want to deal with paper money and coins during the pandemic? Well, if so, a cash app may seem ideal, as long as you know the risks. Mark Fisher didn't want to handle paper money during the pandemic, so he switched to the Cash app. But when a recent payment to his storage unit failed to go through, he decided to call the money transfer company.
I Googled some numbers, find a number on Google for Cash app.
He called what appeared to be Cash customer service.
They're asking me for information. I'm giving them my name.
The agent needed to check his account.
They're sending me these codes through my phone, texting them to me, telling me to text them the codes back.
Suddenly.
So I'm like, okay. And then I got hung up on $3,400 in missing.
More than $3,000, almost his entire bank account gone in a second.
They drained the account.
Turned out the number he Googled was a scam, not the real app.
Money transfer apps have become super popular during the pandemic because you don't have to deal with human tellers, drive-up windows, ATMs, or fees at your traditional bank. But they also don't come with all the same protections.
Consumer Report says there are risks with all money transfer apps, Cash, Zelle, and the biggest one, Venmo. It warns if you send money to the wrong person, it's gone forever. It says beware calls and emails from the apps. They're often scams, and be very careful Googling customer service. The same thing happened last year to Damon Lander, who told me his Zelle account was drained by a phone scammer. Mark just wishes the apps had some sort of fraud protection built in.
I've never sent anybody $3,400. I mean, on my card, that's all I had.
After we contacted Cash App, the company agreed to refund Mark's money, but be careful searching for customer service. You don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
And now on Good Morning Indiana on this Friday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. A sad update now to a story from earlier this week. We have learned the name and age of the teenager who died from injuries caused by a collapse at a construction site in Brownsburg. Edwin Campos Martinez was 14 years old. The collapse happened Monday at a commercial site near State Road 267 and Northfield Drive.
An additional execution has now been scheduled for the federal prison in Terre Haute. Lesmond Mitchell is the only Native American on federal death row. Mitchell is convicted of killing a Navajo woman and her 9-year-old granddaughter back in 2001. Despite the nature of the killings, tribal officials and the victim's family have opposed the death penalty. Mitchell's execution now set for August the 26th.
If someone has lost their driver's license for not paying child support, they now have a way to get their license back. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears is restarting a program that lets non-custodial parents make up for overdue child support based on their ability to pay. If they join the program, they have the chance to get their driver's license reinstated.
Another big event has become a casualty of the pandemic. The Junior League of Indianapolis has canceled its annual Holiday Mart. The 4-day shopping event typically features a variety of Central Indiana vendors and is planned, produced, and staffed by league volunteers. Now, since March, the league has turned its focus to providing support to those impacted by COVID-19.
The NBA has officially restarted the season in Orlando. Some of the first games were held last night, including a matchup between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. Before the game, players and coaches knelt on the court during the national anthem as part of the Black Lives Matter movement. The Pacers will play their first game tomorrow night against the Philadelphia 76ers. And good morning to you. I'm Amanda Starantino filling in for Lauren Casey this morning. It's so nice to be here with you guys.
Amanda, it is great to have you. I'm Rafael Sanchez from the RTV6 studios in Johnson County. Todd Clausen, you're in Studio A. We are witnessing a great sunrise in Indianapolis. And Todd, as I look outside of my living room window, the sunlight is trying its hardest to break through a thick band of clouds.
Yeah, you know, it just depends where you are, Rafael. Some people seeing clear skies, and like you in Johnson County, a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. Here's the view looking off towards the east, and you can see there's definitely more clouds than sunshine, but there's still some breaks in the clouds here and there, and really that's the way it's going to be throughout the entire day today. At times we'll be dealing with skies that are going to be mostly cloudy, then the sun will make an appearance, and then the clouds will kind of fill back in. As far as any rain goes, there's some scattered showers making their way here through southern portions of central Indiana from Shoals over towards the Seymour area. Give a little bit of closer look with this one shower that's crossing over Interstate 65 as you work your way through portions of the Seymour area down towards Jennings, and that is just about it as far as rain in central Indiana this morning. But there's more showers back off to our west. A couple of these will build in throughout the afternoon hours, but tomorrow is the day where the showers are definitely going to be more widespread. Unfortunately, the timing not great for your weekend. 60s this morning as you walk out the door. Temperatures today will climb into the upper 70s for afternoon highs with those partly sunny skies. And again, by the time we get to 4 o'clock, a little better chance of a spot shower or two. We'll talk more about that threat and look ahead to Saturday and Sunday for you in just a few minutes. Amanda.
Let's take a live look at I-465 and Harding Street on the city's south side. We do have a traffic alert for drivers just north of this location here. A semi-fire has the northbound lanes of Harding Street closed near Raymond Street. If you take northbound Harding Street in this area, you will want to leave a few minutes earlier and find a different route if you can. Elsewhere around the metro, everything is moving up to speed for you. And new this morning, the superintendent of Greenfield Central School says a junior high school student tested positive for COVID-19 during the district's first day of school. The superintendent sent an email to parents and students Thursday evening notifying them of the case. The message says the student attended Greenfield Central Junior High School for part of the day and was then taken to the school's clinic and isolated after the school learned of the positive test. RTV6 has learned the child was sent to school despite having a COVID-19 test pending. The superintendent says anyone who was in close contact with the student has already been notified. And it's official, students here in Indianapolis will begin the school year learning from home.
And Amanda, the IPS school board made it official because, of course, they've been concerned with the spike of COVID-19 cases in Marion County. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with all of the details. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So this is a big deal for all IPS students, teachers, and staff. But Superintendent Alicia Johnson says this fall virtual experience will be a lot different and a lot better than the virtual experience they had in the spring. Superintendent Johnson says the plan the district has come up with for students to learn virtually will be fluid and can change when necessary to help out families. Talks are ongoing about how to make sure students who really need to learn in person can do that. IPS says they are in the process of developing programs to fill that need. They're also going to make sure that all students have access to virtual learning by providing them with the necessary technology.
But certainly I understand the anxiety and concern families would be facing, which is why having that communication line open, making sure we're communicating clearly and frequently will be really important.
Superintendent Johnson knows virtual learning cannot replace face-to-face learning, but it's what IPS has to do because of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, they are aiming to get back in the classroom in October, but that, of course, depends on how Marion County is doing when it comes to COVID-19. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
Thanks, Kelsey. Turning now to the latest coronavirus data and how the virus continues to impact Hoosier families. State health officials confirmed nearly 1,000 new cases of the virus here in Indiana. That brings the running total to more than 65,000 cases. The state health department also says 13 more Hoosiers have died from the virus. Since March, more than 2,700 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. And taking a look at the state's hospitalization data at this hour, more than 45% of the state's ICU beds are being used. This morning, coronavirus patients are using a little more than 12%. Nearly 42% of the state's ICU beds are still available.
And new this morning, despite all the warnings about COVID-19, there's a real concern whether enough is being done on outreach across the country and across our state. Only on RTV6, Dr. Deborah Birx agreed to talk to RTV6 about the issues that Hoosier families are facing during this pandemic. As you know, she's a leader on the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Birx says among her biggest concerns are missing a potential outbreak, as well as making sure that all in the community have access to testing and services, and getting the message that all of us need to keep healthy.
Are we getting to all the communities that need to hear our voices? Are we getting into the Hispanic and African American community through their churches, through the community centers? Is our message getting out to everyone who needs to hear it, and has it been internalized so that they can do what's right to protect themselves and their loved ones? I worry about that every day.
Birx is back at the White House. She's been on a tour of the Midwest and southern states, from right here in Indiana to Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, calling on people all over the country to wear their masks. Amanda?
And as the country remains in the midst of a pandemic, about 1/4 of the nation's schools are starting the year without a school nurse. Up next, what is behind this shortage and what can be done to fix this problem? The time now is 6:37. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on RTV6. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. A school nurse shortage in the middle of a pandemic, and public health officials say this is a problem.
It is a serious issue for many school districts around the country and right here in Indiana. And this morning we continue our series on how to get your kids safely back to school. And Chris Conti has a deeper look at what you need to know if your school does not have a nurse.
Of all the equipment you might find inside a school nurse's office, nothing compares to the value of the school nurse themselves.
Is it safe to return to school?
Linda Mendoza oversees the National Association of School Nurses. As she thinks about empty classrooms beginning to fill back up with students, she can't help but be filled with anxiety.
We don't have a roadmap for this. And so I think when you don't have a roadmap, that makes it a little more challenging.
School nurses will be playing a critical role in the reopening of schools. They're being asked to monitor kids for COVID symptoms and, in some cases, help health departments with contact tracing if an outbreak occurs at a school. But a nationwide school nurse shortage puts a lot of that in jeopardy.
In the midst of a pandemic, there should be a school nurse in every school. And there is not.
Nationwide, 25% of schools will be starting the year without a school nurse, a statistic that is particularly troublesome to health officials in the face of this pandemic. What's driving the school nurse shortage? For starters, pay. The average school nurse makes about $46,000. There's also a simple funding problem. School nurses are often the first to get cut when districts need to eliminate positions. The need is so great that the National Association of School Nurses is advocating for 10,000 new nurses in the next federal stimulus bill.
How will we reduce transmission of illness if we don't have nurses there to assess COVID-like symptoms?
Jenny Gormley and Doreen Crow are both school nurses in Massachusetts.
And the essential role of the school nurse is so important that there needs to be a full-time nurse in school every day at all schools.
Their hope is that in the face of this pandemic, districts across the country will find ways to support nurses with both PPE and funding.
We all want students back learning face-to-face and in the buildings, but we want to do it safely.
There's a lot of unknowns in all of this, right? It changes day to day.
As parents attempt to send their kids safely back to school nurses will be one of the best prescriptions for success. I'm Chris Conti reporting.
And the COVID-19 pandemic has not been good for many businesses, but one company is actually thriving from more people staying home. We'll share his story next on Good Morning Indiana. Todd.
Beautiful sunrise taking place this morning across central Indiana. Take a look at this as you look off towards the east. You can see the sun just now coming up over the horizon. A little bit of cloud cover in spots this morning. We'll kind of go back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies. There's also a few showers this morning down in southern locations as you work your way through Seymour. These showers, though, should stay to the south for the most part. We'll talk about your Friday and look at your weekend coming up in just a few minutes when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:45 on this Friday morning. We have a traffic alert for drivers on the south side. This is a live look at Harding Street near Raymond Street from our photographer Eldon Wheeler. A semi-fire has the northbound lanes of Harding Street closed. If you take northbound Harding Street in this area, you will want to leave a few minutes earlier and find a different route. And throughout the pandemic, we've shown you the struggles that small business owners are facing. But this morning, a Noblesville business owner says his business is actually benefiting from families staying at home. Jason Manship owns Moonshot Games and was forced to shut down because of the pandemic. Manship says that's when he launched an online store, and business has been booming since. Moonshot Games reopened its Noblesville location in May. And now, a new opportunity to expand. On July 1st, Moonshot opened a store on Mass Ave.
I think it's just been in the right place at the right time in a lot of ways. I mean, something you and I have talked about before, we got into puzzles. We were a game store, and people said we really want some puzzles also. And quarantine makes total sense, right? You're isolated, you're looking for something to keep your mind occupied and do something.
The Mass Ave store has a beer and wine permit, which Manship says caters to the crowds Mass Ave attracts. This morning, both locations are still limiting capacity and have plexiglass barriers and sanitation procedures they follow.
And a big thank you this morning to everyone who took part in the very first Hiring Hoosiers Virtual Employment Opportunity Fair. RTV6 teamed up with Indiana Black Expo to create the virtual interview space that allowed you to connect directly with recruiters from your home, office, tablet, or even your phone. Companies like Hiring Hoosiers partners Ivy Tech and FedEx, Carrier, Delta, the Indiana Workforce Development, Carvana, among others, were part of this virtual job fair. Now listen, if you missed out this time, we have many more opportunities to come. The next RTV6 and Indiana Black Expo Hiring Hoosiers Employment Job Fair, put it on your calendar. Are you ready? September the 22nd. Now time to check on your forecast, and Todd Clausen. The sky is putting on quite a show with a spectacular sunrise this morning over central Indiana. It is simply just wow. It's like eye candy.
It is absolutely beautiful, Raphael, and I'll show you that sunrise in just a second. A lot of times, if you have no clouds, yeah, sunrise is always beautiful, but when you add some clouds and the sun reflects off those clouds, it is great, and that's what I'll show you in just a second here. Just want to talk rain chances quick first for you this morning. Slight chance of a few spotty showers today. Tomorrow, rain chances really kind of ramp up. So Saturday has the potential at times to be fairly wet, so plan ahead. Sunday, rain chances chances come down, then they kind of ramp back up during the day on Monday. But here is that sunrise that Raphael was talking about. Look how spectacular this is. You have the cloud cover, you have some clearer skies. Look at the sun reflecting off of some of the buildings from downtown. This is our Weather Now camera from the top of the pagoda at IMS, looking east towards downtown and beyond. So truly a beautiful sunrise that is taking place. Temperatures this morning, not bad. You walk out the door, we're in the 60s, still kind of that damp feeling outside with the rain from yesterday. Officially 1 inch of rain fell at the airport. Pretty good soaking. You don't get a lot of July days where you have solid rain like we had throughout the entire day. Very often it's more of these typical thunderstorms in July, but nonetheless it was a wet day for us yesterday. We'll dry out a little bit today. Notice temperatures though continue to run a little bit below normal. We're in the 60s here right now, going up into the mid 70s for your afternoon high. A couple of you could hit 80 degrees if you can keep the clouds away a little bit longer throughout the course of this Friday. As far as showers go right now, there's a few light showers down towards Seymour, North Vernon, back towards Bloomfield, and this is just about it as far as the rainfall goes currently across the area. But as we expand out, it's really just a very unsettled weather pattern, and it goes all the way from New York here through southern Indiana back towards Kansas City. This area that you see spinning counterclockwise, that's an area of low pressure. That's going to move through Kentucky, but it's going to pinwheel some showers in our direction as we work our way into the day tomorrow. This is TrueCast though for today, and you notice most of the day is dry with partly to mostly cloudy skies, but starting this evening we will bring in some scattered showers across the area. So if you do have Friday evening plans, just know, especially as the evening progresses, there will be some scattered showers around with temperatures in the 70s. This now is TrueCast for the day tomorrow, and you can see the coverage of the rain, including starting in the morning hours, is a little bit better. So some of the farmers markets on Saturday morning, you may be dodging a few showers, and then the showers will kind of ramp up tomorrow afternoon and evening. The day is not a complete washout like it was yesterday, but it will feature quite a bit in the way of shower activity. 75 Saturday, 77 on Sunday with some isolated storms. And then as we work our way into the first week of August, in the middle of next week, we get the sunshine back Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures, though, in the upper 70s with lows in the mid 50s. Amanda.
Thank you, Todd. Here's a live look at traffic in the Fishers area. Good morning to you over there. This is I-69 at 106th Street in Fishers, and you can see traffic is moving smoothly in that area. And we are continuing. To monitor a semi-fire cleanup, which has northbound Harding Street closed near Raymond Street. Elsewhere around the metro, everything there is up to speed.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
So it's Friday, and I'm breaking out the old parachute pants because I even have a pair of those still. It's also Good News Friday, coming up how this classic song is going viral. Yeah, once again, thanks in part to the pandemic and a school principal. We'll be right back, right here on Good Morning Indiana. It's hammer time.
I told you, homeboy.
And it is time for Good News Friday. It's where we wrap up our work week with stories we hope will make you smile. Raphael, the U.S. launched another rover to Mars this week, and there's a scientist at Purdue who is watching this mission very closely.
So the NASA spacecraft Perseverance is on its way to the Red Planet, and Amanda, it's scheduled to land sometime in February. When it gets there, the chosen landing site was picked out by this woman. Brianne Horgan is an associate professor of Earth, Atmospheric, and Planetary Sciences at Purdue. She chose a crater on Mars that appears to have evidence of a time when the rivers flowed on the planet. Now, Horgan was also on the team that designed the camera that will be the scientific eye for Perseverance. And even though I'm a Franklin College proud graduate, proud Grizzly, I'm going to say, go Boilermakers, boiler up.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough question for school officials all across the country, Raphael, with children coming back inside school buildings. How do you make sure they follow the rules on wearing masks and social distancing?
And Amanda, I am embarrassed to say that I have a pair of parachute pants still here in the RTV6 home studios, but I think we have a good way to show the story. All thanks to a principal from Talladega County, Alabama. And take a look as his take on this classic, You Can't Touch This.
Coronavirus hits me so hard. All the teachers say, oh my Lord, COVID is stressing me. All the updates from the CDC, Lysol can't be found. I've looked all around this town. I've had no luck. And these are the things you can't touch.
You know, why didn't I have a cool high school principal like that? That is Dr. Quentin Lee from Childersburg High School in Alabama, taking the legendary song, MC Hammer's Can't Touch This, dance moves and all, now going viral with his safety message for all students. That'd be amazing, you know?
Putting all the other principals to shame.
Hey!
Even had the thermometer gun involved in there, taking people's temperatures on their forehead. That's spectacular. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with a few spotty showers near Seymour. Otherwise, we're in decent shape here for at least the morning. Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. A few spotty showers this afternoon. Tomorrow's more of a wetter day for us, so prepare for that if you do have Saturday plans. Sunday, some spotty storms. Straight across the board, though, we are dealing with temperatures that'll be below normal with highs in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees.
Ooh, that pagoda cam is a nice shot to say good morning to you downtown. We will be back in 25 minutes.